Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. This is my boat. This is my boat engine. This is actually the boat here. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Goes all the way up forward. And it goes all the way aft. All right. First, I want to talk about a little bit about the rear berth. There's sailbags in there right now because we're in the process of moving the boat into the water and into a marina. It's on the hard right now. That means out of the water. But this little rear berth area is so enclosed, so compact, so spaced away that with just a little bit of divider work and a little bit of curtaining, it actually qualifies as a rear cabin. It's not a standing height cabin, but it is actually pretty nice. Another feature of this particular boat, this boat model is a Tartan 34C from the 70s. Another feature that you might want to look at is this. This is the icebox. If you look in the icebox, you will see a divider, and then there's a hatch up there. That hatch goes to the cockpit, and while it makes it very inefficient at keeping things cool, you have a beer cooler in the cockpit that doubles as your kitchen fridge, galley fridge. We have the old alcohol stove under this. I'm not going to even talk about it because the alcohol stove is going to go away. Please tell me in the comments what you think I should have instead of an alcohol stove and how you think I should plumb it in. Which brings up the topic of like, share, subscribe. Best thing you can do to support the channel and me and the other two pirates on our adventures. Pirate number 3 is very stoked. Her rear berthing area is just amazing. Okay, she's very happy about that, which is very strange because very few teenage adult females would feel comfortable in that, but she really likes it. Best part of the boat so far, we have a Weems and Plath oil lantern on gimbals and a kerosene lamp, and it actually does work, and it's fantastic. So there you go. That's the best thing I've got going. This buddy right here. This is an Atomic 4 gasoline engine, and most people in the boating world who are not power boaters really just don't like gasoline engines. There's a lot of reasons. There has never been, I've not been able to find a documented fire of an Atomic 4 powered gasoline engine sailboat. So maybe it's not quite as dangerous as people think. But basically, gasoline fumes are explosive, and if you don't vent them somehow, you could blow up your boat. This currently has not been started in a couple of years. I don't know what the condition is inside. I did get a spark plug out and take a look, and there was no water in the cylinder. So I'm just gonna pull pieces off and put them back on when they're clean and just keep going through it until I get to a point where I'm rotating the crankshaft, making sure everything's freed up, making sure the carburetor's there in good condition, make sure that I get a spark, and then we'll go from there. Part of that is that I'm going to have to replace that filter body and that filter body over there and drain the fuel tank because the previous owners left us an almost completely full tank of fuel that is now 5 years old. So that's no good. Fortunately, I have this little connection right here, and I'll be able to siphon or pump the fuel out 2 gallons at a time and take it out of the boat and dispose of it properly in a legal fashion as soon as I figure out what that is. It depends on the state and the federal laws and everything else. I'm not going to dump it, just so you know. Power, we'll talk about power here in a moment. A little bit more about the engine. The engine access, I want to talk about that. This piece right here that I'm about to point to with a hole in the top, this is a bench that sits over the engine and has a cushion and an access panel and everything so that you just sit on top of the engine. But when you pull it off, you have the best engine access in any small sailboat. It does turn your main cabin, your salon, into an engine room. but you have an engine room. It's not an engine tucked away under the ladder like most sailboats. So this is really nice. It's really fantastic. It's a great design. It's an Atomic 4. I'm going to try to make this work, make this run. It's a low compression tractor engine, flathead. It's not the most efficient in the world, but in a boat, it is actually reasonably efficient. Turns at the proper speed with the transmission. Everything goes very well. So I just have to get it running and see what happens there. If it becomes too much of a task to get running, I will part it out and put in a diesel. But my goal right now is to just see if I can get this running reliably and go from there. Okay? If I have to replace it, then I'm going to have to do something with that tank also. And that will just take time. So these batteries right here, let's point out those batteries. That is a battery bank. That is a battery bank that was installed in 2016 and is dead. I haven't tried to charge them, but I'm not going to assume anything out of it. The starter battery was dead and bad, so I have already got that being replaced. And I'm going to end up using that for powering the bilge pump for the first little bit while I raise money to put in a lithium battery bank here. The bad news is I do not have lithium batteries, and I do not have good house batteries, and I don't have any batteries. The good news is I don't have to mess with somebody's bad solar installation from 10 years ago or 8 years ago or even 4 years ago. Solar panels and solar charging and lithium batteries, the whole technology has changed so much that it's better to start with the original fittings and move up from there. And that's pretty much what I'm going to do. Pretty much. There's a couple things that have been added onto the boat, and I'll show you in a moment. Number one would be, of course, that there has been a radar, GPS, and stuff panel added. That's original. The power panel there. Those are the engine gauges. All original. It does have a moderately modern Furuno system with a GPS and a radar, but it's not that new. So I'm going to see, probably going to end up, if it doesn't work, it's going to get ripped out. If it does work, still probably going to get ripped out. And there is a decent radio. We'll get to that when we get to that. I will probably, as money and time allows, put in a decent HF ham set since we all have licenses. That's about it. That's all I really want to talk about. Again, like, share, subscribe. We do have a Cash App if you want to help me buy lithium batteries. 2 lithium batteries right there is going to do more than enough to keep us going when we're cruising. So that's good news. I don't know what else to say about that. I'm going to set up a buy me a beer account sometime. So keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, I just have the Cash App. This is it. This is our boat. This is our adventure. And I hope you come along for the ride because we've got a lot to do. And it's funny. Here I am on a sailboat, and this is the big project so far. Got to get this puppy running. Stay sideways.